Fire, 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 fire. Yes! How exciting! We're learning about the Egyptians and the aliens. I can't wait. Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, boom! Wow, smugglers building pyramids.
This is the Great Pyramid of Giza. For over
Giza.
4,600 years, it has endured in the Egyptian desert.
Ooh.
For most of human civilization, it was the tallest building in the world.
Wow. Until 9/11.
It was built to last for eternity because it was meant to house a god. It has survived earthquakes, erosions, and wars. Countless plunderers, British explorers blasting their way in with dynamite, even Mr. Beast.
Someone 40.
What is this lore? Excuse me? Mr. Beast went to the Pyramid of Giza? Dude, he put a curse on it or something. Dude, we're gonna get some ancient plague unleashed upon this planet because of him.
500 years ago, put this rock right here.
The 2.3 million stone blocks, some with a mass of up to 50 metric tons, make it one of the heaviest human-made objects of all time. It's also built with incredible precision. Its base is roughly the size of 7 New York City blocks, and
That's
almost
a lot
perfectly
of
level,
blocks, Shan.
never deviating more than an inch. The 4 sides are aligned to the cardinal directions with near perfect accuracy, thousands of years before the compass was even invented.
That's sick, actually.
To this day,
what?
no one has found out how exactly it was built. To really understand the Great
I'm
Pyramid,
telling you, it's the freaking aliens. I don't know, man. Some things can't be explained.
we modeled the whole thing, and we will tackle
Wow.
3 fascinating theories of its construction.
Aliens.
This is
Why are you not including aliens?
the insane engineering of the
disgraceful.
pyramids.
The aliens helped. Burn. Burn.
This is
I love
Khufu,
Fern.
a pharaoh of ancient Egypt. He's king of the wealthiest nation on the planet,
Wow.
and he's a god. He's going to live forever, and he needs somewhere to live out his immortality, a home that will last.
Chan,
It will
make a
need to be
pyramid for
incredibly
me,
secure
please.
to house all of his riches, and it should also look amazing. His father Sneferu, also a god, is buried here.
Sniffaroo?
He's the pharaoh who taught Egypt how to build its pyramids. But the lines on his aren't quite perfect. Something went wrong. Khufu can do better. He can bring even more glory to Egypt. The nation is still mourning Sneferu's death. Khufu wants to lift the people up by drawing them into the most incredible project humanity has ever attempted. And then surely they'll love him, and later remember him,
Yeah.
More.
The slaves. Yeah, they'll love that.
than his dad. A project as grand and ambitious as the Great Pyramid can only be pulled off by a very wealthy and very organized nation. The nation of Egypt is just that, thanks in large part to the Nile. Every year, the Nile overflows and fertilizes
It's
the
a
land
river
with
in
rich
Egypt.
topsoil. This gives ancient Egypt the ability to grow excess crops to keep its production well fed, and to sustain a standing army. The army regularly goes out and terrorizes Egypt's neighbors, plundering their wealth to bring home for the pharaoh. So Khufu has all the money he needs to build something very, very extra. But money isn't everything. Khufu also needs the smartest architect to design a building that will set him up for eternity. There's only one man for the job, Khufu's half-brother, Hemiunu. He was born for the role, a once-in-a-generation genius. The design for his pyramid won't just follow in his father's footsteps, it will surpass it in every way. He envisions a pyramid far grander, more complex, and more secure than anything built before. A true quantum leap in architectural
It's
mastery.
kind of crazy how that works, man. It's a pyramid in the middle of a sand.
Hemiunu plans to build a pyramid primarily out of solid stone. Inside will be 3 burial chambers, with a passageway leading to each. The first is built underground.
Oh, they have like false passageways too. I remember watching Ancient Aliens and shit. Yeah, I remember watching that and they explained like false entrances.
In case Khufu dies early into the pyramid's construction. The second will be hidden behind a false wall, so nobody can plunder the riches inside. Leading up to the third and highest burial chamber is a majestic corridor with stunningly high corbelled ceilings,
Wow.
the Grand Gallery. The king's chamber will be breathtaking, a chance for Hemiunu to flex. It'll be huge for ancient Egyptian standards. It will be built entirely from pink granite monoliths, quarried far away from Aswan, fitted together so precisely that you couldn't slip a razor blade in between them.
Wow.
Inside a granite sarcophagus, Khufu will finally be laid to rest. Once complete from the inside, the pyramid will be encased in perfectly smooth white limestone. It will dazzle in the sunlight and gleam in the moonlight. Finally, a golden capstone, the pyramidion, will be placed on top.
That's sick.
Once all is put in place,
How did they get it up there?
Khufu will be ready for eternity. Building a pyramid might take an empire, but to build your dream business, you only need Shopify. Shopify is an amazing all-in-one platform. We've personally used it since 2018 for a sustainable clothing project. We started out with just an idea. Thanks to Shopify, our brand now reaches customers around the world. We built a beautiful storefront with ease. We tracked orders seamlessly and get a ton of valuable insights from the dashboard. One of our favorite tools is Shopify Live View. You can see where customers are shopping in real time. There are over 8,000 apps to customize your store, like sustainable shipping options or loyalty programs. Shopify isn't just for online sales. Shopify Point of Sale helps you sell IRL, perhaps in that pop-up store you always wanted to go for. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment to start your own thing, this is it. Any idea can grow into a fully developed global business with Shopify. Try it free today at shopify.com/fern or by scanning this QR code. Hemiunu doesn't have time to waste. The pyramid should be built as quickly as possible so that at least one of the burial chambers is ready before Khufu's mortal self dies. Hemiunu is aiming for a timeline of 20 years for the whole project. He calculates that the Great Pyramid will require up to 25,000 builders, a significant portion of ancient Egypt's population of about 1 million. So a great recruitment drive begins. But how exactly did they do it? Well, nobody knows. The debate's been raging for hundreds of years, and researchers are constantly
It's aliens, bro. I don't know why people are still debating this. I watched Ancient Aliens and I'm convinced it's aliens.
Uncovering new archaeological evidence and bizarre engineering quirks that give birth to new theories. Sometimes with cutting-edge tech, sometimes by sheer dumb luck. There are theories supported by scientific research, which we will cover, and there's tons of dubious theories that rely on wild speculation.
Yes! 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 The real truth is revealed! See, the Giza alien links. I saw that one. I saw this one. The hidden chamber discovered in the Great Pyramids. Ancient aliens. Yes!
On wild speculation, which we'll ignore.
Aww. This video sucks.
We've broken down 3 scientific theories about what the Egyptian secret could be in order of easy, medium, and hard. Imagine you and some coworkers have to hoist a block as heavy as a double-decker bus, 130 meters into the air. The only tools your boss gives you are some rope, some wood, and some rubble. If you've got something heavy, you've got to move somewhere high. The simplest, most straightforward way is to just drag it up a ramp. You tie it with some rope, get help from as many people as can fit on the ramp, and heave it up together. As the pyramid grows, the ramp would be raised and extended to accommodate the increasing height. Easy. No crazy advanced machinery necessary.
How the fuck do you get the ramp? Hello? Okay, hold on. Like, I'm trying to be reasonable here, okay? The ramp? Like, how tall is it, though? Made of compacted dirt. Where are you gonna get that dirt from? It's gonna take you like 10 years to get all the dirt up there.
Most Egyptologists have traditionally supported the external ramp theory. It continues to be
It's not sand, it's gotta be dirt.
Go-to explanation for how the builders pulled it off. And there's loads of archaeological evidence that confirms ancient Egyptians used big ramps for construction all the time. But there's no consensus on the size, shape, and incline of such a ramp. That's because after a certain height, the external ramp theory starts to fall apart. To move a
That's what I'm saying. See, I'm so smart, Chad. Did you know that?
2-ton block up a slope, you need a team of about 12 workers. And as the pyramid starts to grow, your ramp either needs to become steeper or longer to reach the top.
Yeah.
You're going to want that incline to be as gentle as possible. Otherwise, the job is too intense, and workers will start dropping like flies.
Exactly.
The remains of the workers suggest most were in decent but not spectacular health. These were everyday people, not super elite athletes. Many died before 40 due to the incredibly hard work. Engineers calculate that 8% is the steepest incline for average workers to complete their task. In consequence, the ramp has to become longer. To build a ramp to the full 147-meter height of the pyramid,
they had a little UFO, and then it like goes like bzzz, and then like picks it up and goes, and then like and puts it on, and then it goes, and then it like, and then like puts it on again. Like, come on, they helped him because they're nice.
Gentle enough incline. This ramp would
like a crane? No, like actual like little UFO, and then it goes like a little gravity beam, and it's
very long. Like
Alana knows because she was there because she's old. Yes, exactly. You should take my word for it.
Way more than a kilometer. It'd require a few million tons of material, up to 3 times as much volume as the entire pyramid. Remains of such an enormous ramp haven't been found, and it would take thousands of workers decades just to build it. Decades Khufu doesn't have to spare.
Exactly!
There is a way to keep the ramp shorter.
Die.
You could build a corkscrew ramp that spirals around the sides, like a road winding up a mountain. Every time the pyramid grows, the ramp grows with it, and eventually just becomes part of the pyramid itself. That would be a pretty ingenious way to save up on space and material, and it would explain why we haven't found any remains of a ramp. But it comes with a whole new set of problems. The pyramid's triangular faces need to be accurately maintained at precisely 51.9 degrees from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, how do you
Surveyors
maintain
need
that,
to measure
man?
the edges constantly to ensure there's no deviation. If you're off by even a few centimeters at the bottom, the top could be off by several meters. Since the spiral ramp blocks your sight, it's almost impossible to ensure that all the lines of the pyramid are
Just got back. We watching a story on aliens. Yeah, how they built the pyramids. Thank you, Chatter.
actually straight, which would leave you with a crooked pyramid at the end. And as we know, the Great Pyramid is in fact not crooked.
Yeah.
This brings us to theory number 2.
Okay. The
It's the
internal
late
ramp
90s.
theory. Ooh.
A French engineer, Henri Audin, was watching a documentary about the
French.
pyramids. He explains the pyramid construction with the external ramp theory, but Henri is skeptical. To his engineering mind, it just doesn't make sense. He calls up his architect's son, Jean-Pierre Audin,
Ugh,
and asks
another
his
French.
opinion. Jean-Pierre is intrigued. Without knowing much about ancient Egypt at all, or even visiting the pyramid, he starts puzzling over other ways the blocks could have been lifted. He labors over it obsessively for years, until he's finally ready to
That's
share
kind of based, having a son that's like an engineer, and then you just like start bouncing ideas off each other about engineering and shit.
it with Egyptologists.
It's kind of sick.
Most of them ignore him. He's an outsider, and it's a field notorious for gatekeeping.
French guy who knows nothing because there is no evidence.
But
These fucking gatekeepers in their pyramids, they're keeping away from the alien theory too.
this theory has since gained traction, because Audin has put
Damn
himself into the
fucking
shoes
Frenchie.
of Emiunu,
I mean, to be
thinking
fair,
through
they are
every
French.
last detail. His theory could even explain how the heaviest granite beams might have been moved without needing to be hauled by 600 workers. Here's
They,
a
like,
concise
pushed it?
version. Emiunu does use an external ramp for the first part of the pyramid, up to around 60 meters. But he doesn't just build a basic ramp made of rubble. No, his ramp is made of limestone. Limestone blocks that will later compose the upper layers of the pyramid. That would explain why we haven't found any remains of a ramp around the pyramid. They're right there in front of us. The short external ramp is used to build the widest, lower levels of the pyramid. It's also used to haul the heavy granite beams that compose the king's chamber. But hundreds of workers hauling a 50-ton block in a small space is logistically challenging.
Chat, I'm telling you, the best theory that I can come up with personally is that the aliens helped him, and then the Egyptians got told not to tell anyone, so they never had records of it. That's why. It makes sense. Like, if you had an alien tell you a secret, and then helped you build, like, a really big thing, and you were like, okay, Mr. Alien, thank you so much, what can I do to repay you? And they'll be like, well, actually, just don't tell anybody. And I'll be like, oh, damn, okay, well, darn it. Yeah, no snitching. Snitches get stitches. And they probably, like, pointed a laser beam at your head, and we're like, okay, you better fucking do it, or we're gonna get you.
So Audin believes Emiunu used the long 46-meter corridor, the Grand Gallery, as an ingenious counterweight system. It would have been built opposite the external ramp, and its size and slope would be leveraged with counterweights that would assist workers in getting the granite up to the king's chamber.
You know, I could actually buy that. Low-key, I think this theory's pretty smart.
The Grand Gallery
This
is a
pretty
weird
belie-
space in the
this is
Great Pyramid.
believable.
It has details that puzzled archaeologists for a long time, like why it's so tall, so narrow, and why it has stone benches running along the inside. Audin believes the Grand Gallery helps move impossibly heavy stones by functioning like a railroad track.
Cool!
The stone benches are actually the rails for carts on wooden rollers.
Yeah!
Remember, no wheels.
And you have a spot spot to sit down when you're tired, too.
Essentially, a huge granite block at the bottom
Ooh.
of the external ramp would be attached with a rope to a trolley car,
I would not want
loaded
to
up
be
with
this
heavy
guy.
blocks at the top of the Grand Gallery. When the trolley car is rolled down the Grand Gallery, the heavy granite block would be pulled up the ramp. There's even evidence of scuffing from the repeated impact of something heavy in the Grand Gallery. So it's a plausible explanation of what this unique corridor was used for.
See, that's actually cool.
Once the heavy
I
granite
believe
beams are in
that. I
place,
can believe that.
the external ramp has served its purpose.
I'm
Now, the
learning.
pyramid is too tall for it to be practical, so the builders switch things up. They dismantle the external ramp and use its blocks to start building the rest of the pyramid from the inside out, with an internal ramp, kind of like the driveway spiraling up inside a parking garage.
Yeah.
This second ramp would have been built from the bottom up, with an incline of about 7%. It would go straight up until it hits one of the pyramid sides, where it would make a sharp left continue up another side at the same incline.
How would you turn the
The ramp
block,
continues
though?
zigzagging up the pyramid, with the flights of the ramp getting shorter as the pyramid narrows.
How would you turn the blocks, though? That's my question. How would you turn them?
From the bottom to the top, the internal ramp is over 1 kilometer long. Moving heavy blocks up an incline is manageable, especially if you're using a sled over smooth limestone. But each time the ramp turns a corner, the workers have the enormously difficult task of pivoting the heavy stones.
Yeah.
Odon calculates the ramp had to be less than 3 meters wide, and the workers would have needed somewhere to stand to turn the block. So he proposes that at the end of each flight of the ramp, there must have been
I'm so glad I was never born as a fucking ancient slave.
a big space left open for the workers to turn the block, possibly with the help of wooden levers or cranes. The empty spaces would also be a nice place for the workers to catch their breath. And there's actually evidence
Dude, that's
of one
so
of these spaces.
Cool, actually.
There's a previously unexplained notch that corresponds to Odon's predictions for what the spaces would look like, about 83 meters up the pyramid. Odon's theories about the Grand Gallery and the internal ramp offer viable solutions to two of the pyramid's biggest mysteries: how 2-ton blocks were lifted so high, and how 50-ton beams were moved without the space for the hundreds of workers needed to haul them. But if he's right, the ramp's design would have been highly complex. Its path would have to be designed with great care to avoid intersecting with any passageways or chambers within the pyramid. Critics of his theory are either unconvinced that its construction is supported by archaeological evidence, or wave off the internal ramp as overcomplicated. Many suggest the external ramp
Those
theory
damn
is likelier
gatekeeping
because it's
people, man.
simpler. But ancient Egyptian workmanship exhibits extraordinarily high levels of precision in so many aspects.
Aliens.
Why not also apply this
Aliens!
ability to a highly sophisticated ramp design? And also, why not entertain an even more sophisticated theory for how they built the pyramids? In 2024, a flurry of newspaper articles announced that the mystery of the pyramids was finally solved,
Of course, clickbait.
thanks to brand new archaeological evidence. As it turns out, the Nile might just be the key to the mystery of how the pyramids were built. Nowadays, the Giza Plateau lies in an arid strip of the Sahara Desert, kilometers away from the lush banks of the Nile. But during the time that the pyramids were built, the landscape may have looked very different. A 2024
Probably
study
more lush,
combined radar
yeah.
satellite imagery with deep soil coring techniques. This way, it identified what appears to be a long-lost branch of the Nile flowing alongside the majority of the pyramids.
Yeah, because it was thousands of years ago. It would have changed over
Pyramid
time.
builders
Yeah,
probably
smart.
used this branch to move heavy stones straight to the pyramid base, instead of dragging them all the way from distant quarries.
Huh.
More than plausible that the builders used the Niles to transport the blocks horizontally.
Wow.
But what about vertically? Another peer-reviewed study from 2024 offers a fascinating...
They weren't slaves? Chat. Okay, they weren't slaves, but I bet you it still sucked ass. Like, I don't know. I'm glad I wasn't born in ancient Egypt. Let's just say that.
theory. It proposes a radical and controversial idea. The ancient Egyptians might have used hydraulic power to raise heavy stones.
Hydraulic!
In other words, a water-powered elevator. The idea of such an elevator is not new, but for a long time, credentialed Egyptologists considered such theories fringe and unscientific, just speculations cooked up by pyramidians.
Pyramidians is wild.
They might sound cool, but there was zero evidence to actually support them.
Pyramidians.
Until, perhaps, now. The researchers, including hydrologists, mechanical engineers, and geographers, found evidence that the earliest Egyptian pyramid could have been built using a floating wooden elevator
That's
capable of
pretty
raising
sick.
heavy stones with far less human labor. The water elevator would have worked something like this. Rainfall and floodwater would be collected into a nearby structure that functions as a dam. A system of underground conduits guides that water into a shaft running from underneath the pyramid
Dude,
up
that's
through its
so
central
fucking
axis,
smart and
kind of like a
cool.
volcano. This internal shaft is where all the upward movement is
They
generated.
can do that?
Within the shaft, floating on the water's surface, is a heavy wooden platform, which workers would load up with heavy stones from the ground level. Then they'd open and close valves near the bottom of the shaft, which would feed in or drain out the water. Manipulating the water levels in this way would raise and lower the wooden platform like an elevator. It could raise the platform to heights of at least 17 meters.
And it can lift 400 pounds? Wow, water's powerful.
Then workers would unload the stones and construct the pyramid from the inside out.
Wow.
The study's lead author claims his theories could also help explain why later ones aren't as large as the Great Pyramid. As the climate dried out of the region over time, builders couldn't have captured enough water for a hydraulic lift system. They'd have to rely on human strength to lift heavy stones. So does this theory hold water? Experts are mostly skeptical.
It's
Zahi
aliens.
Hawass, a leading figure in Egyptology, says the theory is completely wrong.
What a gatekeeper. This is why you can't have nice things. This is why they all tell you aliens aren't real.
The pyramid in the
Motherfucker.
study is not only smaller than Khufu's Great Pyramid, but differs structurally and was built of far lighter stones. So if Khufu's pyramid were built with some kind of water elevator, it would have to be bigger and perhaps more complex. So far, no comparable shaft is known to exist in the Great Pyramid. Ramps, however, are found all over archaeological excavations of ancient Egypt, so the most common theories continue to put forward some sort of ramp as the dominant construction model. There are other potentially viable scientific theories that try to solve pieces of this puzzle. One expert we spoke with suggests multiple smaller ramps from all sides to cut down on construction time. But to this day, there is still no generally accepted theory for how they did it. In any
Aliens.
case, it's good to be wary of all the claims coming out about finally solving the mystery. Everyone wants to be the one to definitively figure it out.
Why did they include? You'll include Mr. Beast. You'll include Mr. Frickin' Beast, but you will say that the aliens aren't real.
Everyone wants to be the one to definitively figure it out.
I hate this. Mr. Beast proves aliens didn't build the Great Pyramids of Giza after making a major discovery. Shut the hell up. What does he fucking know? This guy is an alien. That's why he's saying that. See, remember that theory I told you about the aliens not wanting to people to find out that they helped the ancient Egyptians? That's why he's saying that. Then people believe him and they're like, oh, well, aliens couldn't have done it. Like, it was, oh, Mr. Beast is right. Yeah, he's defending his own people. Exactly. Yeah, he's in on it. Telling you.
The Great Pyramid is the last of the 7 wonders of the world we have left.
Ooh.
It's so old, even Cleopatra considered it ancient.
It's
But even
so
though they've
old,
been
even
around
your
thousands
mom
of
thinks
years,
it's old.
it's actually very strange we haven't found any blueprints for the pyramids. The ancient
I'm telling you, the fucking aliens told them not to.
Egyptians were obsessive documenters. We have their tax records, their love poems, their receipts for donkey feed purchases from 4,000 years ago.
But we don't have the pyramid ideas. You're a med schizo. No, I'm not a schizo. No, there's my theory with the little and then the like.
But papyri with plans for the pyramids have never been found. Whether the plans were lost, hidden, or intentionally destroyed, we don't know.
Intentionally
But what we
destroyed
do
by
know,
aliens.
and what science might be at the brink of confirming, is already very incredible. In 2017, scientists discovered a mysterious void in the Great Pyramid using cutting-edge particle physics.
Ooh,
Researchers have yet to access these spaces.
particle these nuts.
Some archaeologists believe the big void isn't so mysterious, that it's probably just structural, built as a stress-relieving spaces so the inner chambers wouldn't collapse. Some believe it helped refine Udon's theory of the Grand Gallery counterweight system.
That's where the aliens
Others,
are,
including
right here.
Egypt's top archaeologist, Zahi Hawass, suggest the void might be Khufu's real burial chamber. Because that's the other great unsolved mystery of the pyramids. Khufu's mummy and all of his treasures have never been found.
Huh.
Whatever it's for, the Big Void reveals there's a lot more investigation
Yeah,
needed
Big
to fully
Void.
understand the Great Pyramid.
They're gatekeeping the alien information, I'm telling you. Next you're gonna say there's a Stargate, you can dial up a planet like a phone? Yes. Yes, the federal agents and the CIA are hiding it from you. Guys, go check them out, freaking frick fern. It's the lizard people. No, lizard people built Mesopotamia. Come on, get your conspiracy theories right, you freak.
Fire, 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 fire.